Hey guys, so just wanted to give you an update. You all now have access to two versions of the ICT SilverBullet indicator. So one is going to be the strategy version, and the other is going to be a updated version of the one you already had. The main differences between the one that's already up and the new one is that the new one takes into account daily bias into the trade, using the methods that ICT uses to determine daily bias regarding the previous day's candle. So as you can see, this day we're bearish, this day we're bullish. Now the two different versions. So the strategy version, do not use for automated entries. I removed the Pine connector stuff from it because the way that TradingView works is that it waits until the candle closes after the entry is given to send alerts. So if you're manually trading and you can sit here and watch it, you can send alerts on the strategy version here. So set it to Enigmax Phantom Gap, and then alert function calls, and you can change the alert name to whatever you want, but that'll just send you a buy or sell signal. So if you're not by your computer, you get an alert, you come back, look, see where you're at, place a limit order or enter at the market. It still gives you the stop loss and take profit for the trades based on your settings. So you can trade it that way, or you can use it manually, depending on how you want to enter. So as you can see here, we're bullish. We get our fair value gap. We tap into it, which equals an entry, and then there's your take profit. So the settings in the strategy version, like I said, the little arrow is where it entered the trade, and the other arrow is where it exited the trade. The way TradingView works is that it won't place the strategy exactly where the entry was supposed to be. It waits until that candle closes. So as you can see, when price came down here, it entered on this candle, but we had to wait till the candle closes for an entry. So the actual strategy itself is going to be slightly off, but it should be more or less correct in terms of getting an idea of, what pairs you want to use it on, what time frames, etc. As you can see. And so in the new strategy version, everything's the same. I simplified both versions a bit, and I know all the hours for the trading windows and fair value gaps, and then the overlays were a little confusing. So I tied them all together, and now they are all adjusted based on the UTC offset. So if you're familiar with ICT, everything he does is traded on the New York. So as you can see here, New York is negative 5 UTC. So if you're in, Central Time or Pacific, like LA is negative 8. So you can set that here how you want it, depending on the charts or what time frame you want to base your chart on. The other thing you can do is that I know the time shift just happened, so TradingView won't automatically update it. So keep in mind when you backtest and check the dates for when the daylight savings started, because as you can see here at UTC 5, we're starting at SilverBullet at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. New York. But if you go back, maybe over here, I think it was over here. Oops. Yeah, see, if you go back here, before the time change, it's starting 11 to 12. So to fix that, all you do in backtesting, or, if you were to be trading live during the next time shift, you just change this the night before, and then it sets your time zone to the correct entry, so 10 to 11. So just to go over everything once again, your trading window is going to be the hours that you're looking for entries, and then the FVG draw hours is where it's looking for the fair value gaps to take a trade from. So it's looking for imbalances in the market and continuations of the trend. So if you come here and you change these, you can start the trend earlier or later or however you want. And then this is also how you're going to change your silver bullet. So some people like to trade London, some people like to trade the afternoon silver bullet. So in here you just put those corresponding hours. So New York AM is 10 to 11. I think PM is 2 to 3 PM or 1 to 2. I'm not sure. I don't really trade that one, but London is 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. So you can change these. You can look for your fair value gap slightly earlier than silver bullet if you want, but then only take entries during silver bullet by just doing the trading window. Again, your TP settings, there's no break even in the back testing, so it's just take profit. So set your take profit, and then if you want to add a buffer in pips or points to the stop loss, just to give yourself some breathing room. In properties, initial capital is going to be how much money in your demo fake account you want to look at the back testing. So on a 200K account, in here we are risking we're risking 1% of our capital. And then as you can see here, that gives us a 50% win rate, 2 profit factor with a $6,400 drawdown and a net profit of $27,000. And you can see all the trades in here. It gives performance summaries and all that. So again, the strategy version is great for seeing what works if you don't want to manually go back and back test everything. Although I still do recommend manually back testing everything because depending on your brokers, again, forward testing, because like sometimes on your brokers you see how it'll clip the take profit, but if it just barely clips it, it'll show it as a win here. But depending on your broker, if they don't want to tag you in there, it may reverse and then take you out of stop loss. So again, either manually trade or check all these live. So usually what I do, and kind of where I got the 1.88 TP, is that I'd have a 2 take profit and it will work great. And then you go into like FTMO or something. And then, there's a few times where it will show it on here that it did, but your ask price is up here. So it never clipped the take profit. So I lowered a little bit just to be safe so that I know the back testing is correct to what I'm going to get in a live account. So that's the manually traded version. If you want, there's also the fully automated version, which is what I use. So again, same trades. This one has the break even. So if you want, like, let's say you want to set your break even at 1, the red line is your stop loss, blue is your entry, purple is your break even, and green is your take profit. Besides that, everything else is the same. The only difference is it has the Pine Connector settings in here. So if you're not familiar with Pine Connector, let me see if I can bring it up for you guys. So this is the Pine Connector for MT4. So when you sign up for Pine Connector, they give a week trial if you want to try it. Otherwise, I think it's like $20 or $30 a month. But they give you your license ID. You put that in here. For this, you're going to be using pips for your stop loss and take profit. Because depending on your broker, brokers are different to what TradingView is going to say sometimes. So instead of saying I want my stop loss at this specific price, if your broker's, a few points off, it's going to put your stop loss up here and your take profit, etc. So I just use pips, or points, so it shows, how many points this is away, how many points the break even is, and how many points the take profit is. And so that's why you use pips for this, because your signal will just say, hey, entry, 40 pip stop loss, 80 pip take profit. Besides that, volume, so that ties into here, volume type. So if this is set to lots, this number is going to be 5 lots. If this is set to percent of balance loss, this is going to be 5%. I hope that makes sense. Or you can set it dollar amount. So if you want to risk $5, I usually use lots or depending on what I'm trading, percent of balance. Since this is a fixed system, or I'm sorry. So for fixed systems where you're just using like a 40 pip stop loss, I'd use pips, or I'm sorry, I would use, where is it? Lots. But since this is a dynamic stop loss, so, you know, one trade might have a 10 pip stop, one trade might have a 20 pip stop. I use percent of balance. So every time I trade, it's risking 1% of the balance. Pyramiding is just if you want multiple trades instead of just one, or reverse trades, so a long and a short. The way this system works, it's only going to take one trade a day. Close on reverse, shadow targets, don't have to worry about those. You can set limits depending on what you're doing, but with this EA, you don't have to do it. And then just leave your start and end time 00 to 24, because the hours are handled by the algo. Additional syntax. So Pine Connector has a whole site where you can add different things in here. I'll put a link, but you can look it up and see what you want to use. You can put a comment for your trade, like if you want an alert, and in MT4, you know, you want to say GBP USD 7 minute ending max, you'll know that that's what that trade was. Or the default here is BE offset 1, which just means it's going to offset the break even by 1 point or 1 pip. So if, you know, you go break even and you don't hit TP and it comes back, you know, it gives a little buffer to cover commissions and all that, and slippage. Pip multiplier. So depending on your broker and your contract size, this can vary. For FTMO, it's 10. For something like Heiko trade, I think it's, I want to say it's 1,000 or something like that. But again, this is why you demo test everything before using a live account, because it's going to say, hey, your stop loss is, let's say, 30 points away. But if your broker uses, you know, 3 zeros, it's going to want to see that it's 300 points away. Whereas if it's just 2 zeros after, it's going to want to see, you know, 30. So make sure you test that on a demo account before you go live with anything, because otherwise, you know, you might have a stop loss that's 10 times this and a take profits that's 10 times this. Or reverse, you'll have it 1/10 and 1/10, and then you're stopped out. Custom ticker. So if you're trading Forex pairs, leave that unchecked unless your broker has some weird Forex pairs things. So like if I'm trading US 30 or NAS, what I'll do is I'll click this and then type US 30.cash, since I'm on FTMO. And so what that is doing is that is matching our symbol right here. So US 30.cash. And so you can go in here and you can look up all your symbols. So if the trading view symbol matches this, you're good. If not, like futures and you know, indices and stuff like that in gold, sometimes they're different. So like, you know, usoil.cash, you just match it to here. Because if you go into NAS and, you know, the symbol is NAS 100U, it's not going to work on Henko Trade, or it's not going to work on FTMO. So just be cognizant of that. Again, you guys all got access to this now. I renamed it because I know it was getting a little confusing. So it's ICT SilverBullet. You have an automated entries version, and then you have a strategy version for manual trading. So you all should have access to that. If you don't, let me know and I'll get you added. But if you guys have any more questions, just leave them in the Discord or DM me. I'm more than happy to answer. I hope that answered some questions about Pine Connector. I know it's a little confusing, but I posted some good YouTube videos on it. It's nice because, like, I have this running in the background, and every day it's, putting in trades for me and making profit. So you can pass challenges that way if you have a job, or you're not in front of the charts, or you want to trade London and you're not awake or something like that. So, all right, guys, thanks.